She ran through the courtyard as thunder cracked overhead, clutching the scholarship letter that could change her life. The wind tore it from her fingers, and she watched it tumble through puddles until the words blurred into nothing. Her breath caught. "That's it," Elizabeth whispered. "I'm done." But even as she said it, something in her chest refused to quiet. That stubborn little spark, the one that said, "Try again," still burned. Everyone had told her no. "Girls from here don't become engineers," her teacher had said, half laughing. Her father sighed every night over bills, saying, "Maybe it's time to be realistic." Friends stopped calling her for outings because she always said she had to study. The world moved on, but Elizabeth stayed, hunched under a dim bulb, sketching circuits on scraps of paper. Then life hit harder. The local community hall, the only place she could use a soldering iron, burned down in an electrical fire. She stood among the ashes, holding a piece of melted wire, her throat tight. "We can rebuild," her mother said softly, but Elizabeth saw the fear in her eyes. Rebuild? With what money? With what hope? Still, she tried. She borrowed tools, scavenged broken radios, and worked out of a shed that smelled of oil and rain. When an older mentor promised to introduce her to investors, she believed him. A week later, he disappeared with her blueprints. That night, she climbed onto the roof and stared at the sky until dawn. "Maybe they're right," she whispered. "Maybe I'm not enough." She felt tears sting, but then a little boy across the alley laughed, chasing fireflies with a glass jar. She smiled through tears. If that child could laugh with nothing but a jar of light, maybe she could try one more time. She started over. She fixed her neighbor's generator for a few coins. She learned coding on a cracked phone. She sold handmade lamps just to buy parts. Every night she told herself, "I can do this," until she finally believed it. Then, a surprise, her new prototype actually worked. A small, rough device that purified water using solar power. When she tested it on a muddy well, the water cleared, truly cleared. She ran to her mother shouting, "It works!" Her mother cried. For the first time in months, so did Elizabeth, but this time from relief. Word spread fast. At first, people laughed. "Cheap trick," they said. But when a child who'd been constantly sick drank from that same well and got better, the laughter stopped. "Did you make this?" a woman asked, gripping Elizabeth's hand. "You saved my son." An invitation arrived from a big company in the city. They wanted a meeting. She took the train, heart pounding. Inside a glass-walled office, a lawyer slid a contract toward her. "Sign here and you'll be famous." The number was low, insultingly low. She remembered the mentor who had stolen her work. She slid the paper back. "My invention isn't for sale," she said quietly. "It's for people." They laughed as she left. "You'll regret this," but she didn't. On the train ride home, she looked out at the fields passing by and whispered, "No, I won't." Then came another blow. Her younger brother fell ill from polluted water at school. Sitting by his bed, Elizabeth felt her resolve crack. "It's all useless," she said, holding his hand. He squeezed weakly and whispered, "Don't stop, Liz, you always fix things." Those words became fuel. She worked day and night, refining her design, powered by desperation and love. At the national competition months later, she stood in front of judges, voice shaking. One of them smirked. "Why should we believe a small-town girl?" She looked straight at him. "Because I drink what they drink, I live what they live, and I'm not here for awards. I'm here to solve a problem." She switched on the device. The water ran clean. The crowd gasped. Then, applause. Real, thunderous applause. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted her name. Elizabeth stood frozen for a moment, then smiled, not for the fame, but for the promise she'd made to herself on that rainy rooftop. The next day, her invention made headlines. Funding poured in. She built a small workshop in her town and hired other young women. The same teacher who once told her that's not for girls came to visit, speechless. Her father, proud and teary, simply said, "You did it, Liz." Years later, she returned to her old school to speak to a new generation. The lab she once dreamed of now stood rebuilt, her name on the door. A shy girl raised her hand and asked, "Can I be like you someday?" Elizabeth smiled and knelt beside her. "You can be even better. Just promise me you won't give up when it gets hard." She turned to the camera, her eyes soft but fierce. "To every girl watching this," she said, "the world will tell you you're too small, too weak, too late. Don't listen. Every time you rise after falling, You become stronger than the last time. You are enough, more than enough. Keep fighting, keep believing. If this story touched you, hit the like button so more girls can find it. Leave a comment sharing what dream you'll never give up on, and subscribe for more stories that remind you that you can. Because one day, like Elizabeth, you'll look back and realize the moment you refused to quit was the moment your life truly